Should you build an e-commerce brand for retention or for acquisition? Just keep in mind, building for one or the other is actually a little bit different. Your model is not going to be the exact same, and some brands are not even thinking about that. In fact, looking inside of our client pool, we have clients that, not even knowing this is what they were optimizing for, have built a brand that is so focused on retention that now 3-4 years after the brand has picked up, they're finding themselves with an acquisition problem. So in today's video, I want to cover both brand styles and how you can actually kind of merge them both together and create the most optimal e-commerce brand that will balance acquisition and keep your customers coming back. My name is Justin and I'm the founder at Wizzle Media, an e-commerce marketing agency specializing in elevating thriving brands by simplifying e-commerce growth. To make this simple, I'm gonna start by giving 2 examples of some of the brands that we work with that are retention heavy. So one of these brands is an underwear brand. It's an underwear brand that only launches exclusive collections once a month. So they've built the brand from the ground up by launching once a month a limited edition collection of bras, of panties in different sizes, and basically they have roughly, I'm gonna put in numbers, right? Let's just say they have 100 amounts of each of the products that they release, and once it's gone, it's gone. So what that does to their model is they get a huge spike on launch day, then the next day it drops dramatically, and then slowly keeps on dropping for the next week until there's no more sale for the rest of the month, until again there's just a new drop happening the month after. So what that does is a little bit like a common brand that probably a lot of people watching this would know, right? A lot of the hypebeast brands, something like Supreme, right? What that does is that it creates a core following around the brand. You create a cult-like following that loves this exclusive aspect. They love the designs. They love to feel like they have something that not a lot of people around can actually get their hands on. So that's good. But if you keep on going with that, it's hard to acquire new customers because there will become a point where kind of you form this clique, right? You form this clique, which they're the people who are going to be the fastest to grab these products, and then all the people who are new and then will end up on your website, they probably won't check out your website on launch day. They'll see it 2, 3, 4 days after launch day. And then by the time they actually make it to the website, no sizes are left or they don't have the right products that they want. So they just won't buy. So that's one example. Example number 2, another brand that we work with, a jewelry brand. So that brand, again, they don't really have any core jewelry. They just launch a new collection and then they have it up on the websites, and then maybe 2 weeks later they're gonna launch a new collection, and then it's always about creating new collections that slowly die out. And at the same time, they're always running sales. Pretty much every single product in the store is on sale at all times, or at least most of the time. So what that does is that initially you'll have new clients coming in, but you're hooking them with big, heavy discounts. So then once they come in, again, they're hooked with discounts. So then if you just stop offering discounts, they won't buy, they won't come back. But then you want to retain them. So then you just keep the entire store on discount so that then they're used to these discounted prices. And similarly to the first brand that I mentioned, you're just always launching new products. Therefore, a customer that bought a ring from you might want to get a second ring, then a necklace, then they might want to get a bracelet, so on and so forth. But in both of the cases that I just mentioned, there's a key piece that is missing. There is no hero or core collection of products. Now, on the flip side, let me give you an example of an entirely acquisition focused brand. There's a new brand that we started working with that also sells underwear, and that brand, they have a core collection. By the way, it's not just any type of underwear. They have a pretty unique USP, which is great for them, right? Which means that they can sell above other competitors. It's quite hard in the fashion space, specifically underwear. There's not something unique about your brand, but they got that. So they've got the uniqueness aspect down. And then what that actually does is it allows them to have 3 or 4 pair of underwear that they have as their core products, and then the only kind of upsell or cross-sell they have is bundling them up together. So you can buy 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs for a bit of a cheaper price, and that's about it. So that is a purely acquisition-focused brand, because what can we do there? We can get a ton of new customers in, right? We can get a ton of new customers in. You might say, Justin, there's probably returning customers that want, like they maybe made a hole with their old pair of underwear. Sure, but it's primarily about getting new clients exposed to that brand. That's the main focus. And now, last but not least, what would a brand that encompasses both look like? And that again got a great example amongst their client pool. There's a 70s fashion brand that we work with out of the UK, and they basically were in the UK and the US that we advertise in. And here's what they operate within. Here's their model. So every season, roughly every 3 months, they launch a new collection. And on their website, by the way, they have a Heroes collection. It's literally called Heroes Collection. So they've got that, which are timeless pieces that their customer love. It's bestsellers. They also know that new customers love these pieces. And then what they do is that with these seasonal launches, which again, don't happen quite often, it's only once every season. It's about once every 3 months. So with these seasonal drops, what they do is they look at the best sellers from that drop, and then they consider adding some of these best sellers to the Heroes collection to keep them on forever. So what that does for that model is honestly the best case scenario, because you have a Heroes collection of best sellers that are timeless pieces that us as an advertising agency can always be running ads on. No matter what time of the year we're in, we can run ads to that collection to acquire new customers. And then for the existing customers, there's these new drops happening every 3 months that offer new pieces. So you've got both. You're retaining your customers, you're getting them to come back to your store by offering novelty, but you also have these timeless pieces on the site that everybody likes and that are well adapted to an acquisition-based model. And that creates probably the healthiest split of customers you can possibly have, right? You should aim for, at the very, very minimum, a 60-40 split, like 60% new customers, 40% returning. Ideally, you want to stay at like a 70-30 and up, because that just means that again, you're always growing your customer base, but you have a decent size of customers coming back. And usually you can see that through email revenue, right? You should want, a lot of these agencies will tell you that you should have at least 15 to 30% of your revenue coming from emails, considering that a lot of that revenue comes from returning customers. So to come back to the first type of brand that is kind of retention heavy, a brand like that is a brand that does a lot of promotions quite often. It's a brand that has a lot of products on sale quite often. It's a brand that launches a lot of new products or only works based on product launches. Those are retention heavy brands. They're made and designed to keep current clients coming back, but they're not really made to acquire new clients. It's harder to acquire new clients as a brand like that because your model is not optimized for it. Whereas if you look at a brand that is evergreen focused only, then you don't really optimize for keeping clients coming back. You have 1 to 5 products on your website that you really push, and you just essentially keep on selling new customers on the idea that your products are the solution to go to. So for a brand like that, then that leads us to the third type of brand, which is the best style of brand that you should be building, which is a brand that has a Heroes collection that never changes, and that about once every season or so, you do a new drop or a new collection launch or a new color wave or something, some variation, either a variation of your Heroes collection. So best example of that is Cuts, right? Cuts Clothing, which they have their Heroes collection, which is their t-shirts, which is now their t-shirts, both short sleeve and long sleeve, and their pants. And then once every couple of weeks, they're gonna launch new color waves. So same product that everybody loves, just in a new color. And every few months or so, they're gonna launch a whole new collection, like lately, which they launched the Aero Flight series. So with that being said, you should optimize for that third model, not for the first nor the second, because in both cases, you're doing yourself a disservice, either in the short term or in the long term. With that being said, in the description down below, there's gonna be a link for a free Facebook group that we have, which any questions that you might wanna ask, you can feel free to ask in there. I'll be more than happy to answer you. Also, you're one of the first to know about these upcoming videos. You've got access to exclusive lives and training videos. And also down below, there's gonna be 2 more links. One for any brands watching this video making above $50,000 per month and needing help or wanting an agency like ours, helping you run your ads, so produce your creatives and do the media buying. Link for that down below. And last but not least, if you're not yet ready to pay for an agency or just don't have the funds, or you want done with you / consulting help, so our team to come in and mentor you and look over your shoulder to help you run your ads, also a link for that down below. So with that being said, I invite you to check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.